Hello, my name is Shemi and this is my podcast, The Miracle of Abstraction. Today my guest is Raffaella Mulas.
Hello.
And she is a mathematician and an assistant professor at the Free University of Amsterdam. Thank you for being here, Raffaella.
Thank you, Shemi, for inviting me.
Yeah, so it used to be my very first question that I asked during this podcast. What is the last thing that you learned and you went, wow? But through discussing it with you, I realized that my intention was to actually ask a different question. So I'm grateful that you helped me to realize that. And here is a new updated question. What is your last glimmer?
Mm-hmm. Can I answer with a small story?
Of course.
Okay, so I learned how to swim before I learned how to walk.
What?
Yes. And this is what happens when you are born in the summer in a warm island, I guess.
Okay. Have you been warm in an ocean? Was your
In the
birth
sea.
in the ocean?
No, but
With
almost.
dolphins?
But very quickly, very
Oh.
soon, I was brought to the sea. And I spent a lot of time in the water because I also spent most of my childhood and teenage years doing competitive swimming.
Ooh.
And later I did master swimming during my university studies. But the thing is that this choice for so far to do swimming in a serious way didn't come from me, because as a child it came from my dad.
Yeah.
Of course, I was a good swimmer, so he pushed me to do competitive swimming, but it was also for him good because it would have shaped my personality as it did. And also it was a way for my dad to let my energies out. I was too energetic as a kid, and 3 hours of swimming every day helped a little bit to let it out.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Not enough, according to my dad. And later, during university, I was swimming like very calm in a swimming pool. And the trainer saw me and asked me, can you please join my team, my swimming team? And that's how I started to do master competitions.
Ooh.
So both times the choice didn't come from me. But lately I have started to feel the need to do swimming in a serious way.
Oh.
And I took this choice on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And so in April I have been swimming training on my own, and then last week I did an entrance test for a swimming team.
Ooh.
And I passed.
Whoa!
Yes,
Congratulations!
thank you. So yeah, this week I have started to train seriously, and it's a wow feeling. So hopefully it answers your question.
Of course, this is amazing.
Because yeah, it's like a new love for swimming, a new motivation that
Oh.
came completely from me this time.
So let me reprise it a bit. So initially you learned quickly to swim, but to continue swimming professionally, it was like an external thing, and you. We don't choose what are our first opportunities,
Yeah.
of course, but eventually you grew in this, and then you reclaim it as
Yes,
your own.
yes,
Amazing.
exactly.
There are many dynamics to live. Sometimes you revolt against something given, and sometimes you reclaim it.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And this is a big achievement to start swimming.
Yeah.
What is your next goal with this? Is like a competition coming soon?
I mean, not soon. I need to train a lot, but yes, I would like to do master competitions again at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But mainly, I kind of have the goal to compete with myself from
Ooh.
15 years ago.
That's the toughest battle.
Yes, she has the advantage of the age, for sure. She's way more trained. Yeah, and she's young, but I am more motivated than her.
This is wonderful. It makes me think about one particular quote, which will be a good introduction to the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read it to you.
Mm-hmm.
It is by a very, very strong mathematician. Mathematics has always been one of my passions. It is not an easy subject, but it can give you a lot of if you live it with enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Do you know the mathematician?
Yes, it's me.
Yeah, but it's the young you, the
Yes.
one that you're now competing with swimming.
Exactly.
What do you think about this quote? How have you discovered mathematics? Was it also from you or from external choices or a mixed one?
I think it was from me,
Oh.
and just like swimming, I don't remember exactly
Yeah,
when it
yeah.
started because both mathematics and swimming have always been with me. But yeah, during elementary school, during the summer vacations, I used to do math exercises just to have fun because
Oh.
it was, like
I
a
relate to
challenge.
that.
Yeah, and I used to write my solutions on the walls of my family house with chalks that were supposed to go away, and they never went away.
Are they still on the walls?
Yes.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Yes.
You should make a photos and put it on your website.
Yeah.
Like my first solutions.
Yeah, and these words that you just read, I told them to a newspaper who interviewed me when I was 12 years old. I also talked about swimming in that interview actually, because I won some math competitions at the regional level, and then they interviewed me, and I said that. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you were like writing on the walls, kind of comparable to Greeks drawing in the sand on the on the ground, and it's staying. They writing didn't stay, but they stayed. So how you evolved from like doing it passionately as a student in before university, and then deciding to actually go as a career?
I think it was always clear.
Oh.
Yeah. I
It
think
was
as
always
a
clear.
kid, I knew I wanted to become a
It was like
mathematician.
attraction and pulling you there.
Yeah, like I loved every single subject I did at school. I was passionate about everything, but with math, there was something more. There was the challenge behind it. Like many people hate math because it's hard, and I love it because of that. I think
we don't do it because it's easy. We do it because it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And your subject is graph theory and hypergraphs. Let's talk about what hypergraphs are later. Graphs kind of, I guess people kind of know.
It depends on who
It
is
depends,
listening.
but the chance is quite high that they saw graphs. But you have a nickname, Graphaella.
Yes.
What is the origin of this nickname? Have you started it yourself or externally?
No, so I was working in Leipzig at the Max Planck Institute for Mathematics in the Sciences, and there people just started to call me Graphaella at the institute. I don't even remember who started it. It wasn't me, and I loved it. And now, I'm always happy when people call me Graphaella, like you do. And there is even a nickname of the nickname now.
What?
Yeah, because
I don't know that. What is
yeah,
that?
some people call me Grapha.
Grapha.
Yes. So
Grapha. That
I
sounds
love
cute.
that as well. Yeah.
Grapha. It's like being like a man of the streets. Like, I do graphs. I'm Grapha. Amazing, amazing. But you already told us that you do swimming, you do mathematics, and you started with a beautiful story, and it was well organized and everything. And I know that it is one of your passions to do storytelling.
Yes.
How does storytelling connect with your mathematical practice?
It's a good question. So, in a way, I see mathematics and storytelling as very different because I'm a very emotional person, and mathematics kind of gives me like it allows me to be calm and put my emotions on hold. While storytelling does the exact opposite. It forces me to really go deep into my emotions. And usually when I'm on stage, I'm very vulnerable. I share all my emotions. I make people cry or laugh or
Yeah,
feel.
I know. I saw some of your stories.
Yeah. So I really like to go deep into the emotions with storytelling. So in this way, they are very different. But also, I'm trying to connect them more and more, and I'm trying to bring storytelling into my work more and more. So one way I do this is by bringing storytelling more into my teaching and in my lectures. So now when I prove theorems during my lectures, I also share something about the life of the mathematician who proved this theorem.
This is beautiful.
Yes.
Because we do not pay attention much of history and people doing it. It's like suspended in air and who knows why and where.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes even just, 2 minutes, a small note about the person changes the perspective. And I see that when I do this small storytelling during my lectures, even the students who don't care about the math, they listen. So it's nice to get the attention of students for a minute or two.
Finally, some gossips.
This is one way I'm bringing storytelling into my work, and then I also conduct interviews with mathematicians. So I guess in the same way that you bring storytelling and math together, I also do it with the interviews. And I'm also going to publish now a book of interviews with Springer.
What's the title?
The title is Stories Behind Theorems. So, it's a perfect
It will be
mix.
like more contemporary mathematicians or
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's not
it's
like collecting
mathematicians.
old stories from centuries
No,
ago.
no.
It's like about today in 21st century, this is how we're doing it.
Yeah, it's a collection of interviews that I conducted with mathematicians.
I like it.
Yes.
I like it. We're
Thank
missing
you.
such things.
Thank you. And also, I am designing a new course that will take place next year at the FU, and the course is titled Storytelling and Science Communication.
Ooh.
Yes.
Exciting.
Yes, so it will be about storytelling and how it can help us to become better teachers and better communicators in science.
Okay. Now I feel forced to ask a question. Do you have for us some good advice how to prepare a lecture?
A lecture?
A lecture or popular lecture. Like, let's say that you give a lecture on your subject. However, the audience is not fully in your field. So like, let's say 50% of people are from your field, and then like secondary field, maybe third degree, second degree. So it's like you still have to like justify what you're doing, but
yeah. Well, first of all, I think it's nice to explain your topic in a way that is accessible for the people who are not expert in your area. So your talk can be a mix between more accessible parts and deeper parts for the people who are experts. And also, putting stories is always good, whether it is your own story or the story of people who prove the theorems that you're presenting. And putting stories helps you to put emotions also in the math, and putting the emotions helps you to be connected more with the audience.
What about jokes?
Also,
Shall we put in jokes inside
why not?
lectures?
Yeah, I do put jokes in the lectures if I see that the audience appreciates it.
But do you like gauge it before that they will appreciate it, or do you first do like a small joke and like feel it like they do not want to laugh? I'm not going further with jokes.
Yeah, I think it's more like that.
The former one.
The latest one.
Yeah.
So like
The
I have the latter one. I have some students, some classes where like they're more serious and maybe they're not so interested in mathematics. They're just doing it because it's a mandatory course, and they just don't enjoy being there, and there is not much I can do. And even if I try to put some jokes, it doesn't work. And then
I have audience.
And then I have other classes where this is much easier, and if I see that jokes or storytelling help with the connection, then I keep doing it. Of course, not too much, but a little bit. Is
Still,
good.
the primary goal is to convey the material.
Yeah, exactly.
But this extra sparkles allow to create more chunks. And will better learn in the end.
Yeah.
And at least if someone is interested in these chunks. Otherwise, they just like, I don't care about these things. Just give me theorems.
Yeah.
There are all kinds of people out there. You're going to publish the interviews, but you already publish other things.
Yes.
And there are like monographs. But I am going to talk about your opus magnum, the best thing out of the best. And we have a copy here.
Amazing.
Here's like Bare Networks. It is a book for children. And I must confess, I gave this to be read to my bestie, who is not related to any STEAM degrees, engineering, mathematics, or anything. She's a board game designer. And she had a very hard time going through it.
But there is an explanation at the end. Did she read that?
I tried to be the explanation.
Okay.
But we had hard time. So I'm curious to hear what is the motivation, what is the origin story behind this, and do you have some reviews from some intended audience already?
So, the book is written together with my colleague, Chris Bick, and together with my dad as the illustrator of the book. And it was born basically because Chris Bick has two small kids, and he wanted them to learn about graph theory from a very young age. And I think this was the main motivation for working on the book.
So there is an intended audience of like small kids of Chris?
Yes.
So that's amazing. And then you ask like your father to do the illustrations?
Yes. So I told Chris, I know an illustrator who could do the drawings. And Chris said, yeah, but we cannot pay your dad, right? With the university project. And then I told my dad and he was like, oh, but I want to do it for free so that I will get Erdos number 4.
Is your number 3?
Yes.
Oh, amazing. I do not know what is my number. Something 4 or 5. Somehow I have this connection through not theory, but I don't remember the number. So this is amazing. Do you know the children of Chris? How they reviewed this book?
They love it.
They're now studying graphs all the time.
Yes, and they often ask him to read the Bear books before sleeping.
Oh,
so it worked.
That's adorable. So some future mathematicians are growing.
Yeah.
Your competition is growing. They're small and they have the advantage of age, like young Raffaella.
It's amazing.
Amazing. I'm impressed. This is a good job.
Thank you.
This petit booklet teaches us about graphs and hypergraphs. And I must confess that under my graduate, and even my graduate, I never heard about hypergraphs. I only heard them by accident by going to deep seminars. And they love hypergraphs, they like networks, hyper networks, they like everything that is super complex and complicated. But for me, by my natural study and research and subject, I never met hypergraphs through any expert or subject or anything. So I don't even know when the study began about them. What is the let's assume that we know what the graphs are, that we can study networks with them, and then we know that networks are important because many things can be interpreted in terms of networks. But then, why hypergraphs? What's hyper? Why do we need more?
Yeah, good question. So you know what hypergraphs are, but maybe the listeners don't. So in the case of graphs, we have vertices that are connected to each other through edges, and edges connect to pairs of vertices.
Yes.
So we can use them, for instance, to model networks where the vertices are people and the edges represent friendships between pairs of people.
Oh, We assume it's symmetric.
And in the case of hypergraphs, we still have vertices, and now the edges, instead of just being pairwise relationships between vertices, they can have any size, any cardinality. So they represent groups of people, for instance. And so this
is a node.
Yes.
It is an edge. It is a graph. And now hyperedge.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we want to represent groups of elements instead of pairs of elements, then we have to go hyper.
But don't group of elements are just pairwise connections? Do we gain something from talking separately about groups instead of just sets of pairwise connections? Or is it just a trick to help us, or is it actually something more?
I mean, I think you can represent something more, something different in this way, something more general. So, for example, if you take a hypergraph to represent co-authorship networks, right? Assume that
so the nodes are
people, authors, and
the
edges are papers, and each paper puts together the authors of that paper.
Okay, but then we cannot have books by 3 people because one edge is only 2 people.
In the graph case, exactly.
So bare networks are not visible in just ordinary graph. So we already have to go hypergraphs to see bare networks.
Yes.
Okay. What are your future projects that you would like to accomplish?
Well, swimming more.
Of course, Olympic gold medal.
I have a nice story that I'm preparing for MedRap that I will bring on June 4. I guess.
Okay. Maybe there will be a lot of people because of this video. All 2.
So yeah, I'm very happy about this story because it's a story about storytelling. So
ooh, meta.
Yes, it's a special one. And yeah, I'm publishing 2 books this year. Hopefully,
Is it Bare Networks 2?
No, no. My dad is insisting, but I'm taking a break from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's too difficult.
Yeah. No, one is the book of interviews, and the other one is a research monograph.
Okay.
And what else? Yeah, and I'm creating the new course on storytelling and science communication, which is also exciting.
That we recommend you to take.
If you are a student at the full of math, yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, that's our time. Thank you for being here. It was a privilege to interview with you.
Thank you, Shemi, for inviting me.